The courtroom was silent. Only the ticking wall clock dared to breathe. At the center sat Elena Carter, palms trembling, eyes holding 3 years of bruised hope. Across her, the man she once called husband, Daniel Pierce, confident, smirking, hands intertwined with the woman who destroyed Elena's home. And today, after years of betrayal, sleepless nights, tears swallowed in silence, the final verdict would fall. Chapter 1: The Woman Who Spoke Through Silence. Elena Carter wasn't the kind of woman who screamed her pain. She carried it quietly, like a stone in her chest that never left. Age 29, lives in a quiet suburb in Seattle. Elementary school art teacher, gentle, warm, the type who painted her joy on canvas so no one could see her sadness. Her house was modest, white-fenced, roses by the porch. A dream she built brick by brick with Daniel, the man she loved since college days. They used to laugh till midnight, eat pizza on the floor, dream about kids. But life changes. People change. Daniel changed. Chapter 2: Cracks No One Saw. It began softly, like distant thunder before a storm. Daniel started coming home late, smelled like perfume she didn't own. He guarded his phone like a soldier, smiled less, touched her even less. At dinner, his eyes stayed on the screen, scrolling, typing, smiling, not at her, never at her. One night, Elena tried to reach across the table. Elena, softly, "Danny, you've been distant. Is something wrong?" Daniel, cold chuckle. "You're overthinking again. Stop being dramatic." His words stung sharper than truth. She folded her emotions into silence. She believed love could fix everything. She waited. Chapter 3: The Other Woman. Her name was Sophia Langdon, corporate attorney, confident, beautiful, sharp like glass. Elena discovered her one rainy afternoon. Daniel forgot to log out of his laptop, something he never did. Photos, chats, plans, hotel receipts. Her world shattered quietly. No screaming, no glass breaking, just a soft landing of reality that hurt more than noise ever could. She stood in the bathroom staring at herself, mascara smeared like war paint. She whispered to her reflection, "If I scream, nobody will hear. If I stay silent, maybe truth will speak." She didn't confront him, not yet. She wanted proof, real proof, not tears or suspicion. From that day, she became a shadow in her own home, watching, recording, saving. Every lie he told, every message, every night he didn't return. Chapter 4: Betrayal Blossoms Boldly. One Sunday morning, golden light through curtains, Elena making pancakes like every routine for years, Daniel walked in. Wearing a shirt she didn't recognize, perfume she never used touched his collar. He sat at the table scrolling his phone, smiling. "Elena, breakfast?" Daniel, without looking up, "Already ate." Pause. He stood in front of her, voice firm, rehearsed. "I want a divorce." Her heart stopped. The spatula fell from her hand, hitting the floor louder than his words. "Elena," shaky breath. "Why?" He shrugged, like ending a marriage was nothing. "Daniel, I'm not happy with you. Sophia understands me. We're moving in together." He didn't flinch, didn't look guilty, as if their memories, their years, meant nothing. He left whistling. Elena collapsed to the kitchen floor, pancakes burning behind her. But even through that pain, she didn't break. She waited, because she knew something Daniel
Before
didn't.
the storm.
Sophia wasn't
Days
just his
passed
mistress.
like cold, empty rooms, silent, echoing, but heavy with the weight of what was coming. Elena woke every morning to the same routine: coffee, Black now, no sugar, no softness. Work, smiles forced, heart bruised. Home, a battlefield of memories. But beneath her quiet grief, something grew, steel in her spine, a silent storm. Her lawyer, Michael, visited one evening, files stacked under his arm. Rain tapped the windows like nervous fingers. Michael, Elena, you need to be prepared. Daniel's lawyer will dig into your personal life. They'll twist everything to make you seem unstable, unworthy. Elena, steady voice, eyes tired but fierce. They already took my happiness. They can't take my truth. Michael nodded, watching the fire in a woman who once only whispered. He slid new documents across the table. Michael, we found something. A bank transfer. Daniel to Sophia, $240,000. 2 weeks before Daniel asked for divorce. Elena's fingers froze on the paper. Elena, that's from my father's inheritance account. Michael's jaw tightened. Michael, yes, without your signature. Illegal. Her breath shook, not from fear now, from awakening anger. Chapter 9. The trap set against her. Daniel and Sophia weren't idle. Their game was darker than heartbreak. They needed Elena broken, legally, emotionally, so she would sign over the land. One night, Elena received a call. Unknown number. A shaky female voice. Caller, please, meet me. It's about Daniel. You're in danger. The voice cut off. Address texted. Abandoned parking lot outside the city. Elena hesitated. Fear scratched her skin, but truth seekers don't sleep. She drove there under a moonless sky. Cold wind howled, trash cans rattled, silence thick. A shadow stepped forward. A woman, bruised cheek, trembling. Woman, my name is Lisa. I worked for Daniel and Sophia. They're planning something. Elena whispering, what? Lisa swallowed hard, eyes glossy with regret. Lisa, they'll claim you're mentally unstable. They forged reports. If the court accepts it, you lose everything. Thunder cracked somewhere distant, or maybe inside Elena's chest. Elena, why tell me? Lisa's voice cracked. Because I thought I loved Daniel too, and he destroyed me. I can't watch another woman break. She handed Elena a USB drive, shaking. Lisa, recordings, emails, proof. Before Elena could thank her, headlights flashed. Lisa panicked and ran into the dark. Elena stood alone, clutching the USB like a lifeline. In that moment, she realized she wasn't the only one Daniel betrayed. He left a trail of broken souls behind him. Chapter 10. Night before court. Elena sat by her fireplace, USB drive plugged in. Videos, conversations, laughs between Daniel and Sophia. Cruel, careless. Daniel's voice, recording. Once the court declares her unstable, the land is ours. She'll have nothing. Maybe she'll just disappear on her own. Elena's hands shook violently, not from sorrow, with fury. Tears streamed down her cheeks silently, but her face didn't crumble. Grief had reshaped into something fearless. She looked at her reflection in the dark window, a woman no longer begging for love. Elena, soft but powerful. You wanted me silent? Now my silence will bury you. Chapter 11. Final court day begins. The courthouse steps echoed under Elena's heels. White blouse, black blazer, hair tied back, clean, sharp like intent. Inside, the air was electric. Reporters, cameras, curious eyes. Daniel looked confident. Sophia smirked. Patricia whispered something smug, like wolves thinking the lamb finally came for slaughter. But today, Elena wasn't the lamb. She was the storm. The judge entered. Everyone rose. Tension thick like rope. Judge Harris. We will hear final evidence. Then, verdict. Michael
Chapter
stood
12.
first.
The
Voice
witness's
calm,
turn.
sword-like.
Lisa was
Michael,
called to stand.
Your Honor,
Hair
we
tied,
present
fresh
new
bruise
evidence.
still visible.
He plugged in
She
the
testified
USB.
how
The
Daniel
courtroom
manipulated
screens
employees,
flickered.
forged
Daniel's laughter
documents,
filled the
planned
room,
to destroy
boasting how
Elena's
they'd take
reputation.
everything.
Her voice
Sophia in the
trembled,
background,
but truth
smiling
stood
like
tall.
victory. The
Then
room
another
gasped.
shock.
The judge's
Daniel's
eyes
former
narrowed.
business partner,
Daniel
Mark
shot up,
Reynolds,
furious.
entered unexpectedly.
Daniel,
He
this is
exposed
illegal.
that Daniel
She
used
stole.
inheritance funds for
Michael
illegal
raised
real
a
estate
hand.
deals.
Michael,
No
the
paperwork,
whistleblower
no
came
consent
forward
from Elena.
voluntarily, searing
Daniel's
for
face
Mrs.
drained
Carter's
white.
safety.
He slammed
Whispers
the
grew
desk.
louder.
Daniel,
Sophia
yelling,
lost color.
"You all
Patricia
used me.
looked like
Elena
glass
turned
cracking.
you against
and
me."
Elena?
Judge
She
slammed
sat
the
still,
gavel.
calm,
Judge Harris,
watching the man
control
she
yourself,
loved
Mr.
unravel
Pierce.
publicly.
But Daniel had already lost control of the room, of the narrative, of his power. Sophia whispered urgently, panic now where pride once sat. Chapter 13. Elena finally speaks. The court fell silent when the judge called her name. Elena rose slowly. Every step to the stand echoed years of heartbreak. She didn't bring anger, she brought truth. Her voice soft, but each word like a blade. Elena, I loved him. I built a home with him. When he changed, I stayed. When he betrayed me, I waited. Not for revenge, for justice. The courtroom listened, breath held. Elena, I suffered in silence because I believed love could return. But silence isn't weakness. Silence is patience, waiting for truth to reveal itself. Tears glimmered in eyes across the room, not pity, but respect. Daniel looked at her for the first time not as a wife he owned, but as a woman he underestimated. Suspense holds. Verdict next part. Judge took a deep breath. Judge Harris, court will recess for 1 hour before verdict. Elena exhaled, heavy, trembling, but victorious, because she knew the truth was finally louder than her silence. Daniel watched her leave, and for the first time, regret flickered in his eyes. Chapter 14. The Hour Before Judgment. Time slowed. Every tick of the hallway clock felt like a heartbeat too loud, too fragile. Elena sat alone on the bench outside the courtroom, palms pressed together, breathing steady. This hour wasn't just a wait, it was 3 years of pain condensed into 60 silent minutes. Rain pattered softly against the tall courthouse windows, like the sky itself whispered, "You survived." Michael approached with 2 cups of coffee, one black, just how she slowly learned to take it. Michael, gentle. How do you feel? Elena looked ahead, voice calm, eyes deep. Elena, like I've already won, even if the court says otherwise, because I didn't break. Michael smiled slightly, the kind of smile people give warriors returning from war. Down the hall, Daniel sat with Sophia. His leg bounced anxiously, fists curled. Sophia whispered, voice trembling, "Sophia, don't panic. We can fix this. There must be a legal crack somewhere." Daniel ignored her, eyes fixed on Elena. For the first time, he saw not the fragile wife he abandoned, but a woman reborn. Chapter 15. Court resumes. All rise. Shoes scraped the floor, breaths held tight. Judge Harris returned, expression unreadable, voice firm. Judge Harris: after reviewing all evidence, witness statements, and financial records, this court is ready to deliver judgment. Elena's heart slowed. Daniel's eyes darted, mad, desperate. Sophia bit her lip, mascara trembling like guilt. Chapter 16. The Final Verdict. Judge Harris adjusted his glasses. Judge Harris: in the matter of divorce, due to proven infidelity, manipulation, and emotional abuse, this court grants divorce in favor of Mrs. Elena Carter. Daniel exhaled sharply, like losing breath. But the courtroom wasn't done. Judge Harris continues. Regarding inheritance theft and financial fraud, Mr. Daniel Pierce is found guilty of unauthorized access to inheritance funds. Sophia's face collapsed. Reporters scribbled wildly. Flashlights burst like fireworks. Daniel shook his head violently. No, this is... Elena, stop this. Judge raised hand. Mrs. Carter is to retain full ownership of her father's land and primary residence. Mr. Pierce is ordered to repay $240,000 with penalties and legal fees. Additionally, due to proven intent of character assassination, Mr. Pierce is sentenced to 18 months of supervised probation and community service. Gasps, shock, justice loud as thunder. Daniel staggered back as if struck. Sophia covered her mouth, humiliation burning her like fire. And Elena closed her eyes, a single tear slipping. Not pain this time, relief, silent, powerful. Chapter 17. A moment that broke time. Daniel tried to run to her, desperation twisting his voice. Elena, wait, please listen. She turned slowly, eyes gentle but distant, like someone who finally let go. Daniel's voice cracked, the first crack in his arrogance. Daniel, we can fix this. I made mistakes. I was blinded. But Elena stepped back, calm like the ocean after a storm. Elena, soft, heartbreaking. You didn't just betray me, Daniel. You betrayed the woman who loved you beyond reason. He swallowed hard, eyes moist now, ego shattered on the courtroom floor. Elena, I waited for you once. Now I walk forward without you. Her voice didn't tremble, his did. Daniel, Elena, I'm sorry. A whisper too late. She watched him, not with hate, but with closure. Elena, I hope one day you understand what love was, not when you had it, but because you lost it. Daniel crumbled into the seat. Sophia stepped away from him like he was sinking land. Patricia, who once mocked Elena, silently lowered her head. The power dynamic reversed in a breath. Chapter 18. After the storm. Outside the courthouse, the rain had stopped. Sun filtered through clouds, gentle, forgiving. Elena descended the steps slowly, like walking out of a cage she never realized she lived in. Reporters surged. Reporter, Mrs. Carter, how do you feel after the verdict? She smiled faintly, voice poetic, steady. Justice doesn't erase pain, but it teaches us that silence is not weakness. It's waiting for the right moment to speak. Her words went viral that evening, a symbol for every broken woman who stayed quiet too long. Chapter 19. The New Beginning. Weeks later, her home no longer felt like a graveyard of memories. Fresh paint, new flowers. Her canvas stood by the window. She painted the sky as she felt it, open, wide, free. Michael visited often, sometimes for legal follow-ups, sometimes for coffee, sometimes just to sit in quiet comfort.
He handed her final papers one afternoon. Michael, it's over now. Elena touched the papers gently, like touching a healed scar. Elena, no, it's beginning. Michael laughed softly. You're stronger than anyone I've met. Elena looked at him, warmth softening her voice. I had to break to rebuild. They shared a moment, not romantic, not rushed, just two people who understood pain and healing. Final closing scene, narration ending like a film. Camera zooms slowly on Elena stepping onto her porch. Breeze moves her hair, light paints her like hope. Narration voice, deep, emotional. Some stories aren't about winning someone back, but winning yourself again. Elena loved silently, suffered silently, and when the world finally listened, her silence became her verdict. Fade to black. Silence is not surrender. Sometimes it's the sound before justice.